The following tutorial will show you how to use the selection tools in Photoshop. First of all, at the top corner of the screen on the left hand side, you can see that there are several selection tools, a rectangular, marquee, and an elliptical. If we use the rectangular, simply creates a square, whereas the circle does the same thing. So for instance, I could copy and paste this picture, or cut and paste it as I have. Additionally, what I usually do when I first select something in Photoshop is go to Select All, which selects the whole entire picture. I copy and I paste it. What that does is creates a second layer. I usually don't like to work from the background layer. I always like to work from layer 1. Okay, next selection tools are the lassos. First is the first lasso tool. I generally don't like to use this tool a lot because, as you can see, it's very hard to select something. If I tried to select the person in the picture, it becomes very difficult, and it's very dependent on how well I can move my fingers. So I generally don't like to use this tool too often. What I do like to use, however, is the Polygon lasso tool, which is the middle tool here. Polygon lasso lets me select something as I click my mouse. So what's happening is every time I click the mouse, a new line forms. So for instance, making it much easier to select something. And then when I'm done, I put them together and it selects. To deselect, I can go to Select, Deselect. Now, let's say I'm selecting something and oops, I mess up a little bit and I wanted to select the top half of this person, and I mess up a little bit, and this isn't perfect. Obviously, to make this perfect, I would want to zoom in. So what I can do is, first of all, push the Shift key. Notice when I push Shift, a plus appears. What this does is it means I can add to my selection. And I'm just going to do this quickly to show you the example, but notice how I've added to my selection. And also, I can take something away by holding Alt-Option. Now notice I am working on the Mac, so if you're working on a PC, your buttons may be different, but it'll be the buttons around that area. Now notice when they're together, you see the little O form. That means that, okay, I can click the mouse again, and voila, I've taken selection away. Again, select, deselect. Next tool I'd like to go over, magnetic lasso tool. This tool is very similar to the other tool that I just used. However, it automatically attaches to something. So what it does is it likes to align things up by color, and I can click the mouse at different points if I'd like to. I don't even have to do that. It just automatically selects for me. And you can see that it's doing a really good job of selecting this object. It doesn't always work this well. And I'm done. I've selected. That did a really good job. And what I can actually do is go back to my poly lasso and add or subtract from this selection. So the magnetic lasso tool can be a first step. All right. Third set of selection tools. We have a quick selection tool, which basically it's going to select by color and keep adding to it. So I just push it one time, and as I keep pushing the mouse, it keeps selecting more and more. So right now I've selected the whole person. If I click out here, it's going to start selecting the beach. See, it's selecting by color, so sometimes it's kind of an odd tool to use, but it can be a good first starting tool. I'm going to deselect it. And the last tool is the magic wand tool, which selects things by color. And you can see that it's just randomly choosing different things. With this tool, there is the minus and plus again. So right now I'm doing plus. I just keep holding plus down and clicking the mouse till I eventually have the whole person selected, and you can see it's starting to click a little more. And I can take certain parts away as well by holding the minus. And select, deselect. Those are the selection tools in Photoshop. Honestly, selection is one of the most important features Photoshop has, so it's something that you need to get good with. Just seeing these tools isn't enough to learn how to use them. They're really something that you need to practice using time and time again. I would suggest a good 30 to 60 minutes of just playing with these tools, practicing different objects, trying to select them in and out of a picture.